Hey guys, it's Amy at Zoe back, and I'm going to do my monthly reading stats. This is for September 2019. So these are just the stats that I take or I accumulate to see how my reading is going. Again, I really love doing all the numbers. So anyway, we'll just jump into it. I have my little cheat sheet. So here we go. So for monthly stats, I only finished 7 books in September. And I was really hoping to do a lot more than that. It just didn't happen between vacation and work things and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, I didn't read. I read a couple of big books, so that probably helped. But the thing is, it still was like, I didn't read as much as I thought I would. All 7 of those were physical. I did not read any audiobooks more than a day or two here and there. So really, I didn't count any of those. And I didn't read any ebooks. So that was kind of weird. I didn't read, so it was really all physical, which it does happen, just not that often, I guess. I did read 3 manga or graphic novels. I read 2 manga and 1 graphic novel from the library. All 3 of those were from the library, so I do not have them. I did have 2 rereads in the month. One of them I counted, and one I did not, due to, I have little strict rules for myself of what I count on rereads, and I'm kind of changing them as during this year. I was at first thinking that if I've read, like a long time ago, it's always been, if I'd read the book within the last 10 years, then I can't count the pages again. And so I have all these stats for like not counting for 10 years, these rereads I've been doing. And then this year I kind of discovered that, I don't remember all the books all that well. And so a reread, even if it's in the last 5 years, I thought, well, I still can count it because, it's been over 5 years and I still don't remember everything, so I can count the pages. Well, I pretty much put lax on this. So I've kind of joined the club of, if I've read it this year, I can't count the pages a second time, but if it was over a year ago, then I get to count the pages. So anyway, so this is kind of changing. So it'll kind of skew some of my numbers, but I think it'll be fine. I just had to come to the conclusion that I don't remember everything as well as I used to in books because I've read so many, and just if I'm reading it closely, I figure I get to count it. And if it's a book that I'm not reading as closely because I just read it within the year, then I don't get to count that. But the books, so as I said, 2 of the rereads, one of them was within the year and the other one was not. Well, yeah, that's how I want to say them. Did any DNFs? I had 1 DNF. So, of my TBR for the month, I made 6 books I thought I was going to read, including some of the rereads. I read 5 of the 6 books. So that was pretty good for me. That was a really great average on reading my TBR. I'm very impressed with by reducing how many books I put on my TBR, the more amped I am to actually hit them. So anyway, I think I did pretty good on that. How many were from my shelves or how many were from the library? And I'm talking about the physical books. So 5 of the books were mine that I own. 2 of them were library books. So that's pretty average. How many of them was I still reading when the month changed? I was still reading one of them physically or actively. So I only counted the 1. I mean, there are some of those other ones that have been kind of hanging out for months, but I'm not counting those. I'm counting the ones I was actually reading when the month changed. How many books did I buy this month? So, September, as I said, I did go on vacation in the first part of the month, so I usually let myself kind of go whenever I can, clearly, on buying books. So I bought 23 this month. Well, technically one of those my dad gave me that didn't cost any money, but everything else I bought. So 23 total. Of those books, only one of them did I read or had read. So one of them I read actually that month. I read it, Nilling Easing, we all know why. But I didn't finish that book this month, so I don't get to count it as a favorite. Darn it. But anyway, I did read that one, so I get to count that one because it was close enough. But everything else I've never read before, so I added 22 to my TBR. Anyway, how many pages did I read In September, I read 2,916 pages. That comes out to an average of 97.2 pages read a day, which is a really good average for me. So sad, my lowest, I want to be over 50 pages per day on average for the month. Anything over that is great. I'm trying to shoot for the 100, but I don't always make it. I didn't quite make it in September, so that's fine. It was close enough that I'm still really pleased when I get into the 90s. So that was pretty good. So my star ratings were really kind of like they're all the same. I had 5 books that I counted as 4-star reads and 2 books that were 3-star reads. I didn't have any spectacular like 5-star reads, which is fine. All the 4s were very solid. So they're all books that I would pick up again, just they weren't all-time favorites kind of thing. And then I had a couple that were just kind of, they're okay. So, and one actually might be a little bit lower than a 3, but anyway, it's not fine. It's not my worst book of the month. It was just kind of like, it was just a meh book. So it was kind of, I would say more 2.5, but I always round up usually. Anyway, not always, but sometimes. The genres I read this month, or in September, was I read 1 nonfiction history, 1 fantasy, 2 science fiction for Space Opera September. I read 1 translated contemporary work. I read 1 historical fiction, and I read 1 general nonfiction. So I hit quite a few genres for the 7 books. I hit 6, so that was pretty good. I thought that was great. So my favorite book of the month, I put down Leviathan Wakes by James S.A. Corey. I did have a few issues with this, but it was still a fantastic read. It was so action-packed. I am so excited to continue with this series. As I said, I read this for Space Opera September, and I did it as a read-along on Discord with Rachel from the Shades of Orange and several other people. So I thought it was really great. I can see why everybody likes this series. I'm glad I finally dove in. I'm excited to pick up the 2nd book. Hopefully in the next couple months. There's so many things I want to read, but I don't want to let this sit too long. So I'm hoping that January I pick up the next book. That's my goal. We'll see if it happens. Maybe January, February. But I really want to pick up the 2nd book in this really quick. I really adored this. Even though I might have had a few issues with one of the main characters, I didn't hate him. I just felt him a little naive. But I really liked the story overall. And as I said, it went in directions I had no idea it was going to go. Like half the time I was like, whoa, 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 what's happening? It was just so much fun. And I really enjoyed it. And I really want to continue on with this series. So anyway, I really liked that. And my least favorite book, or a book that I DNF'd, I'm going to pick my 1 DNF this month, and that was A Paris Apartment, well, September, by Michelle Gable. And I know other people would probably enjoy this, and again, this has the kind of the 2 timelines. This one is more, the 2nd timeline is in diary entries. My problem with this is the main character, not the one in the past, but the main character who finds the letters or the diary. I didn't like her. I didn't like that she and her husband were going through a rough patch because he cheated on her. And, she was trying to decide if she was going to forgive him. And I don't know. I don't mind a redemption arc in a marriage, except with cheating. I don't know. There's something about that. I have a thing with lying and cheating, admittedly. Anyway, so I didn't like that, and I didn't like the guy that was kind of being set up as her romantic interest. I hated him. So, I DNF'd this. I didn't get very far. I don't remember what I got anymore. I didn't get very far. It didn't click for me. What I liked about it is it's talking about a Paris apartment that was closed up for like 60 years. So no one had been in it, and they go in and it's like a treasure trove from the early 1900s to I think 1940 or something. And it's like just all these beautiful works of art and furniture. And the main character, what was her name? April, comes in, and she's like works for one of the auction houses. and she deals with furniture. And so it just didn't go in ways I wanted. It was just like, I don't know. It was a disappointment because I had all these things built up on what I thought it was going to get. Because the apartment was, we get to find out about this woman who came from nothing and pretty much became one of the, was very highly influential and stuff. I don't know. It sounded great at the time. And it just didn't work out. And that sometimes happens with books, is you build it up in your head and you think it's going to be one thing, and then you get into it and it starts breaking down to something you don't want to read. Anyway, that is my bad critique on that. Anyway, so that is all those. I just want to show really quickly my my reading log. So that's my reading for the month. I had this is when I was on vacation, so it was off and on. I did pretty good, a lot of reading, and then it kind of dribbled off. Here I was rereading, so you can't see the pages. I was actually reading a book I read last year, so I didn't count it. Again, because I just, but and then I just kind of dropped off at the end. But it was, fairly good. At least I didn't mess up this time. So not the greatest reading month, but it was, as I said, it's been much worse. And then you can see on my Pixel reading, there's a lot of rereads in here because I did read a lot. I did make a mistake. This is supposed to be green. Anyway, so I did a lot of rereading, and this reds are where I had 0 pages that day, but those are rereads. So I didn't do quite that bad. So it's kind of interesting to see, because usually it's just, I don't know. My page count, as I said, this month was it was still really good, so I can't complain. So anyway, that is my stats. I still rambled too much. Anyway, so do you guys keep stats? Do you I love seeing these videos when people put them up, so I'm always looking for them. So if you have them, let me know if I haven't seen it. They're so much fun. If there are any questions you think I should be taking, should start taking, let me know, because I'll be setting up for next year pretty soon. Anyway, I will see you guys later. Bye.